We are building a marketplace where we purchase up properties and then we tokenize it and list it onto our marketplace. So then you're able to buy one fraction for $50.
Now, fractionalizing real estate, I think, is a brilliant use case for blockchain. And I have Daniel joining me on this episode to talk through his project, Fraction Estate. And we will learn exactly how these guys are going to implement this. Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Okay, so you've been working on this project for a little bit here. Can you talk me through what you guys are trying to do?
We are trying to bridge traditional real estate investment with blockchain and giving all the advantage that blockchain could provide to the real estate industry. So the name says itself, it's fraction estate, fractionalized real estate. So we are building a marketplace where we purchase up properties and then we tokenize it and list it onto our marketplace. So then you're able to buy one fraction for $50 and you have the same advantages as if you were a rich person buying a property and you were hiring a property manager to manage your property and go through all the lease agreements, maintenance and stuff like that.
I know, of course, it makes it a little bit cheaper in regards to an entry price for a person getting into the real estate market. But what are the other advantages of actually fractionalizing the real estate market?
You don't have to take up a loan, and that's like one of the biggest things. Right now in Norway, a normal family home is around 15,000 Norwegian crowns. So that's around $1,500. And out of that, it's around 4,500 crowns that you actually have to down payment, and the rest is just going straight to the bank. So instead of buying everything at once, you can buy what you can afford. And when you start to get rental yield in, you can just push it back and you can build up a portfolio without paying any mortgage payment.
Yeah, I have to say here in Australia, they call it housing affordability here. Housing prices are skyrocketing ever since COVID hit, and people are moving to different areas of the country and moving away from the big city hubs. Homes here are reaching $1 million Australian dollars per home, even for small apartments. So you have to take out these huge mortgages to actually make this all happen. So fractionalizing this to allow people to enter the market is such a good way to start. Now, how do you make this actually work in terms of the legalities behind it? So you guys are buying the properties. How can you actually, are you allowed to fractionalize this? Do people actually have the ownership of the property? Do they have to KYC? There's so much legal side to this. And what happens if someone loses their wallet? Does that mean they lose their fraction of their real estate property?
There are definitely a lot of rules you have to follow. And also, so fraction estate is based in Norway, so we have a bit easier laws here. You have to have good lawyers to get the proper license from the financial institution and stuff like that. But for us as a company, it's actually the tax law that is hardest, how to minimize the payment of tax. So it doesn't take profit from the investors. And the way we are doing it is we are buying up a property, put it into a LLC, and we are actually fractionalizing the LLC and not the property itself. And the way we are fractionalizing it is we are using ZIP68, and we fractionalize it with the rich fundable tokens. So it's like a in between a normal fungible token and NFT. So you have all the metadata from the NFT, but you can transfer it back and forth. And that way, you're also able to have thousands of these tokens in your wallet without breaking your wallet. Because if it was a normal NFT today, you could have like 100 and things would start to get buggy. When it comes to how everything is legal and how you have the owner right of the property, is that every NFT will contain a legal binding contract. So it's corporate law and freedom of agreement would be a great translation for it. So that's a law that we have in Norway that is called freedom of agreement. So if I put up a contract with you, it's legally binding as long as it doesn't break any other laws.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's working with the laws there in Norway to actually make this happen. And you said something quite interesting there. You're tokenizing the LLC, the company itself. So does that mean you will be creating multiple different LLCs for different properties?
Yeah, one LLC for each property. So fractional
Okay.
estate will be its own entity. So we will have one company that are holding fraction estate and all the real estate companies. And then you have fraction estate on the side, and then you have all the properties down. So even if fraction estate goes bankrupt, the property themselves will not be affected by it. So, and also in most countries in the world, if you take up a loan on a property, the banks are not recognizing blockchain ownership as a real ownership. So if you don't get lease into the property and you have to pay a lot of stuff, the bank can take the property. So the way we set up the LLC is that we are running it as a zero-sum game. There will be no loans at all in the company, and income and what's going in and out is all dependent on if there are coming in any yield. So, for example, say it's not no rental income for like 3 months, then fraction estate isn't getting paid in 3 months either. So we only get paid when you get paid. And also we have our own treasury inside of each LLC that will be, when we launch each property, it will be around 5%. And it can go up to 10%. And after 10%, there's will be a possibility by the government action to release the overspilling treasury. So we will try to hold it like 10% for maintenance all the time. On our website as well, you will have like monthly updated reports on all of the economical stuff that's happening and also on maintenance. So fraction estate will do the property management and make sure that if a faucet is leaking, that we are fixing it and stuff like that. But if there's a bigger renovation that is needed, we are also putting that up for the governance to vote. Then we go out, get 3 carpenters to fight for the job, and we put it up as a proposal on the governance side, and you as a holder can decide what to do.
That's really cool. That is making the best of blockchain to make this all happen. So I like what you guys are doing there. Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier that this is a zero-sum situation, how you've got this set up financially. So no loan. Does that mean you will be raising all the funds through NFT sales beforehand to buy these properties? I'm trying to understand that bit.
We have a few different approaches. And we will try to acquire all the properties upfront. And if there's a big property, for example, we can be able to do a pre-sale of the property. If we have an agreement with the owner of the building, give us 3 months and if we raise not enough capital, we will buy it. So then we put it up on the marketplace, and you are able to buy the pre-sale. And if it doesn't reach the amount that is required within those 3 months, it's getting refunded. So we will also have like construction properties. Then we are putting up a budget, making it 10% larger. So we have a little overhead. And then we are able to sell that. So that would be more profitable, but you will have a longer time before you start to get any rental yield on the property. So we will try to make every single scenario possible. So everything from a low cost Airbnb to big industrial and commercial buildings.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, I'd like to double back on one of my other questions I asked earlier, and this is around the management of the NFTs and wallets for the user itself. Now, I'm buying all these NFTs to own these properties. What happens if I do lose my wallet and I've had 50, 100 of these NFTs in my wallet? What happens to my ownership of the properties in that situation?
So we are now at the MVP level. It's a self-custody, so you have to be careful of that. But we also have KYC, so we are able to verify that you actually are the token holder. So we haven't figured all of that out yet, but there should be possibilities to do a wait for it to get back to you. But in this stage, it's not decided how that will be done yet. But we have other measurements in place the other way. For example, if the property catch fire, we have a buyback solution for all of the fractions. So the NFT itself, it's locked in a smart contract. And the only way for us to claim it back is if we fund it up to market value. And when we do that, the NFT is in our custody, and we can change the NFT, and then you will have information of steps to burn your fractions and redeem your initial market value for the property.
Okay, there's a lot to think of when putting this project together. We started off with just we can just make some NFTs and you can own the property. And now there's so many nuances and little bits and pieces that we have to think about.
That definitely is. And I see not only on Cardano, but also on other blockchains, there's a lot of projects that are just slapping a property on an NFT and call it a day, but it's not compliant and it's definitely not safe. So we try to do it the right way. We just onboarded one advisor today. I can't say his name, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows him. So it's a OG in the space that will oversee all the development and review all the codes. So there will hopefully be no major flaws when we launch.
All right, you're teasing me there. Yeah. Interesting. I'll check out the website in a couple of weeks. Hopefully their details are online so we can work out who it is that's joined and advising you on the project. Now, where are you guys up to in this whole process, and how are you guys funding this?
So we have a token, a utility token called Fraction Estate Token. Short name is FET. We're getting some comments on that it always is another ticker with the same. So we are most likely changing the ticker in the future before we close the minting policy. But for now, we don't touch it. So that's a bit of the Fraction Estate side, but we are also having this proposal up now. So Fraction Estate was not originally made just for Fraction Estate and to be located in Norway, and we would sell properties to people all around the world. But when we were in Dubai, we had 3 people coming up to us and asking, can you make it so we can use the platform as well as a company? So after the Dubai Summit, I started to make a plan and made this proposal that we would have a fully compliant minting and listing platform for any company inside of the EU for now. And in the future, we will try to make it worldwide, but there's a lot of laws in every country, and it would be way too much to research at once.
Yeah, good luck with that. I think you have to expand your team quite
Absolutely.
hugely and globally to make that happen. But I can see this working really well. And I love that idea of opening it up to other companies that, so if I have a company in the EU buying property in the south of France, I can use your platform to fractionalize the ownership of that. So I think that's really cool.
And you'll need no technical knowledge about the blockchain. So you just need a wallet to connect to the back. You get your own backend and you connect your wallet to that. You mint it. It's a multi-sig mint, so you won't mint it yourself. It will come into us at Fraction Estate, and we will oversee everything and make sure that they have put in the right details, looked at the valuation of the property and confirm that it's actually the correct price, and also the financial, and see that, okay, they have actually 5% maintenance fund in their company and there's no loans on the property. Okay, then we can sign it and it will be launched. So we will be like a bit of a watchdog for the companies, but also a partner that will help them and teach them how to do things right.
Super interesting. I absolutely love what you guys are doing here. Where can we find out more? How do we get the token if we're interested as well?
So you can go to Wi-Fi, and the token is launched there. But you can also go to our website. So we have a faucet going. So check where it's cheapest, because some days it's cheaper on Wi-Fi, and sometimes it's more expensive. So, but if you really want to support the project, it would be better to go to the faucet and get some coins there, because then we are getting more money to develop.
Okay, brilliant. I'll put all those links in the show notes down below, so anyone that's interested in learning more about Fraction Estate and getting into the project as well can do so. Please always do your research behind this. Make sure you check out the white paper and everything else around it so you know what you're getting into before you start purchasing these tokens. But Daniel, thank you so much for joining me on this episode and talking through Fraction Estate. I think we could talk about this for hours to learn the deep intricacies of real estate and everything that you're doing with the fractionalization of it.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk again soon when we start getting some properties online.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.